Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Wind Up, the Ru-Cap show, where myself, Shaun Philip Naylor, and the gorgeous Miss Mya Ru-Cap the latest episode of Drag Race Down Under. Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram at thewindup_pod. You can follow me at Shaun Philip Official, and you can follow this gorgeous creature over here at Microphone with an F, not a PH, because crapone. Hi.
Hi, how are we?
I'm good, but not as good as you, clearly. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm living my best Lady of Luxury life this week.
Where are you? Tell us, what are you doing?
So right now I am on a P&O cruise, just sailing up the East Coast. Just
sailing up the East Coast.
Just cruising up the East Coast. We stopped in Airlie last night. We're in Cairns for tonight and tomorrow night, and then we're back down to Brisbane, arriving back on Saturday. Yeah, I'm just part of the entertainment on board for a special LGBT travel group called Out Exploring.
Out Exploring. Very cool. I love it. So, listeners, if you can hear some crazy noises in the background, that is just Mya living her best life, essentially.
Just relaxing on a cruise ship. Sadly, there is no little alcoves for me to duck away with no other background noise. So, if you can hear some ambient music, just enjoy it. If you can hear people talking, I can't do much about that. It's just, I could have sat in my cabin, but the queen that I'm sharing with is currently having a nap. So, yeah, that wouldn't have worked.
Now, obviously, Miss Mya, we're going to recap Drag Race in just a second, but because you are such a star, and I always knew you were going to be a star, I mean...
You didn't. I have a shirt.
You do. Mya has her very own merchandise. Isn't it gorgeous?
I have a shirt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I just put a face on. You can't make me tear up. You can't.
Aww. I am a big old cunt.
You've made me oh my god. I'm trying to dry my eyes so I don't cry my makeup off. I have to have this face.
It's a pretty nifty little t-shirt too.
It's fucking stunning. Thank you so much. That is gorgeous.
You're welcome. Okay.
So
go ahead.
I was just going to say quickly, what did you think of this week's episode?
I feel like what I said last time, that we get a meh episode and then a much better episode, is true. I enjoyed this episode, but there was a lot of drama.
Making lipstick on my teeth.
Drama.
I thought there was a lot of unnecessary drama. We'll obviously get into it as we go through, but I just thought, and one thing that I did notice, so another queen posted a thing that I read yesterday, and it seems to be every episode has the same sort of format, in that it's two queens have conflict, they sit down at the table, they hash it out, and then they move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's become very predictable. So every episode, it's like, okay, which two queens is going to be today?
Yeah.
I was surprised by the elimination,
mm-hmm.
But not surprised based on that lip sync. But yeah, I was surprised as to who. I'm getting so many random looks from the straight people that are on board. Have been for the last couple of days. But yeah, I thought it was overall a enjoyable episode, much better than that horrible piece of dog shit that was the Snatch Game last week.
Oh, the Snatch Game. Okay, so let's jump straight in. So last week we played the Snatch Game terribly. Hanaconda won the Maxi Challenge. Beverly Kills, Minnie
Rightfully so.
Cooper. Yes, rightfully so. Beverly Kills and Minnie Cooper lip synced for their lives. Beverly won, and Minnie Cooper wheelied herself off down the runway.
Wow.
A lot happened last week. And then after Little Miss Minnie's elimination, the girls walk into the workroom to find
Oh, and
Minnie's
drama
side
straight away.
straight
Fucking
away.
like
Um,
I understand her wanting to, give thanks to people like Queen, Spanky, and was it Yuri?
yeah,
But to essentially, and especially to considering she works in the same city as Hannah Conda, like they're both Sydney queens, they both work the same sort of scene together, and her to essentially just be like, "Well, fuck you, Hannah," was sort of like a wow, okay, you're really doing that.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, she should absolutely be thanking the queens that she felt the most connected with. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Um, but yeah, you can tell they definitely milked that for the drama.
100%. And then the other three girls who were not thanked on the mirror message claim that they didn't know why she would have written that. And Beverly, I love this, but Beverly's like, I've finally realized that it's every queen for themselves. Honey, you're on a competition. Did you not? How are you only just getting that memo?
Because she's a twink.
Twinkie twink.
They're not known for being bright.
Then we go cut to the next day in the workroom. Beverly is really trying to prove something.
Yeah, so I feel like I love how they did this bit of her talking about how I'm good at this and I'm good at this and I'm good at this and I'm good at this, and it cuts to all the queens just rolling their eyes and just being like, yeah, Bev, yeah, cool, keep talking about it, yeah, sure. Which clearly, again, as I've said before, proves that either she's going to be in the bottom or she's going to win.
Yeah. So Beverly's trying to prove something to herself. She's talking about herself. She's talking about how expensive her finale game is going to be. I feel like isn't everyone's.
I mean, that's expected of your finale. You're expected to raise the level and have a phenomenal outfit for your finale. If you're not, then what are you doing?
Finale, final. I mean, bring it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing there? Beverly seems really proud of her 2 lip syncs that she's done, and she's like, "Yeah, I've already won 2 lip syncs." And Yuri's very quickly like, "Yeah, well, you have been in the bottom the most."
Like it's true though. Like, yeah, you can sit there and be like, "I'm a phenomenal lip syncer," but no queen has lip synced their way to the crown. I mean, yes, they do the lip sync for the crown for the finale generally, and especially in the American ones, but no queen has ever been in the bottom that many times and won.
Siren sound, and Miss RuPaul enters, and it's straight into our mini challenge this week. Ru says, "Have you read any good books lately?" And she declares that the library is about to open. We finally have a reading challenge, which we were expecting last week, but got this week.
Yeah.
And
it was shit.
God, it was like the worst one I think I've ever seen.
And all these queens have been talking shit to each other and about each other the entire time, and yet it was just, there was almost like no creativity, no passion, no nothing behind any of these reads. And I'm like, okay, cool, yep, sweet, awesome.
Like, Beverly was the first one up, and she makes that stupid, gross joke about the Eiffel Tower that makes her come across a little creepy.
Yeah, but she at least admitted, she's like,
yeah,
it was supposed to be a sexual joke, but it just made me sound like a perv.
Yeah. We got Yuri, who just repeats the same joke for Spanky that she did a couple of weeks ago about the only thing flatter than that hair is that ass. Molly, what was that? When she's like, "What do you say about Spanky Jackson? I love you, man." And everyone's just
no,
like,
it was,
I don't get it.
Supposed to, so it was, her delivery was horrible. The joke there is she's calling Spanky a man, saying that she looks like a man. I mean, I made that comment in week 1 when we were discussing the intro queens, and I kept calling her a man. But the way that you would do that is, the only thing I can say about you, Spanky, is I love you, man. Yeah, so I feel like the reading challenge, much like the Snatch game, can go either way in that they can edit it to be beneficial for any queen that they want. So they can have Ru laugh at whoever they want based on the funniness of it.
Yes. Speaking of Ru laughing, Kong, Beverly Kills isn't killing the competition, and Anaconda is an asshole, but she's moved forward and now she's a cunt.
I liked that. Like Queen showed these queens how to read. Rightfully so, because I mean, she sat there and she's like, all these queens think that they know what they're doing, but I'm going to prove to them that, you know, I'm the one to watch.
Mm-hmm. And then what was Spanky's reads? With just like one word answers to everybody until she got to bloody Hannah and said she looked like a blow up doll.
Which I thought was like, I did think the blow up doll thing was a little bit funny. My thumb, sorry, just realized my thumb was blocking the camera. Which I did think was a little bit funny, but also a little predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they could have put a little bit more effort into it.
Hannah, she was the last one to do her read, and it wasn't the worst of the segment. And I guess the highlight was saying that Yuri was riding on Spanky's oversized coattails.
Which I didn't necessarily, I got the read, but I didn't necessarily agree with it, because I feel like Yuri, she only did one challenge with Spanky that was caused her to be good. The rest of it was all done on her own. Like, she's not been partnered. Ooh, sorry, I dropped my phone. It's really hard because I don't have my stand with me on the cruise, so I'm holding my phone. I don't think she hasn't been partnered with Spanky for anything else, so I don't think it's fair to say she was riding her coattails.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, Ru closes the library and announces that the winner was Miss Queen Kong, which I think out of all of the girls in the edit that we saw, that was the right choice for the winner. And she gets herself a little gift card from Glitter A Go-Go.
Yeah, camp. Natural, what is it? Natural
biodegradable glitter.
Yeah. Every queen's friend.
Yeah, exactly. Ru, after announcing Kong as the mini challenge winner, goes straight into the maxi challenge, and it is a girl group challenge. Working in 2 groups of 3, the girls need to write an original verse to the new song, Bosom Buddies, Partners in Crime.
Hated it.
It was terrible. There has to kind of read on the other girls a little bit in their lyrics that they do, and each group is responsible for creating their own choreography, and they get to record with Ms. Michelle Visage. Ru lets the girls pick their groups, and it pretty much is just a straight divide down the middle when Queen, Hannah, and Spanky group together.
Yeah, and I think in Queen's mind, that was the right thing to do, because while yes, she could have chosen someone like Beverly and had a strong dancing team. Considering Beverly claims that she's a dancer. Well, they could have had a strong dancing team. I think choosing Spanky and Hannah, because they were probably the 2 other strong, I would say strong ones because they weren't strong, but strong ones in the reading challenge.
Yeah.
Especially since the whole purpose of the song is to be doing a girl group song. And sorry, dropping my phone there. Reading each other during the song, like, it would make sense to pick the other 2 strong readers to help make the song work better, as opposed to someone else that can just dance but clearly sucked at reading.
Yeah, so that's our split. That's our divide. We've got Queen Kong, Spanky Jackson, and Hanaconda versus the Eyebrowless Freaks, which
is what I think they should have named their group.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, that just would have been camp, naming yourself that.
Yeah, the Eyebrowless Freaks get renamed to the Hung Divas. And
hated it.
Yeah, not good. And the other queens are Babs, broke ass bitches with a Z. Okay, so Beverly points herself as the dance captain of her group.
Which thrills the other two because they're like, cool, we don't dance, so you take
Yeah,
charge.
exactly. We'll just follow your lead. But straight off the bat, the Babs team having like a great time. They've got a really good energy. They've got a good chemistry, kind of bouncing off each other. The Hunk Divas are a little bit awkward.
Yeah, because so I've seen Beverly perform, and she is a fierce dancer. I didn't know she choreographed her routines, um, but she can dance. I've seen her. She works really well with backup dancers, who also can dance. She obviously doesn't do so well working with people who've got intermediate to basic beginner dance skill,
Yeah.
because her choreography was just very, like, it was basic enough so that within those girls can get it, but it was too basic.
Which
Like,
I
there
think
is
is,
such a thing as going,
yeah, which I think is where the problem kind of lied with the other team having a bit of a giggle at the girls when they were doing
that
their
fucking
routine.
drama in the workroom where Beverly was starting to attack Kong and just be like, well, come on, show us what you've got then, show us what you've got then. And Kong's like, I don't need to. Like, you guys are the ones that decided to get up and rehearse in front of us, but we don't feel the need to do that.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward because you've got like Beverly who is kind of coming at them, but also
Yeah,
probably felt a bit attacked because they were all laughing at them when they were doing their routine. At least the edit portrayed that.
yeah, correct.
Um, and then Queen's like, why is your voice shaking? And like it was all very a little, I don't like confrontation. It was a little bit too confrontational, too much unnecessary drama, but
They're
you
drag
know,
queens.
they're drag queens and it is a TV show, and the production team were probably like, finally, something we can work with.
Yes.
So we get to the confessional of Queen saying that she hates it when people try to project on them, and that's what she felt like
Hmm.
Beverly was doing. And then what she'll do, if she feels like you're doing that, then she will reflect it back at you and make you take a good look at yourself in the mirror.
Which is a
Um,
great thing to do because I 100% think Beverly was projecting her insecurities onto
mm,
Kong, and trying to rattle Kong. And Kong's just like, no, 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 none of that.
yeah.
Um, you're insecure. I'm not. I don't need to prove anything.
And then you get that really like awkward bit of the edit where Beverly says to Queen that you're too scared to do it, and Queen's like, if you've got something to say it to my face. And she's like, well, I just did, and it was just like boring.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I'm like, that was just seemed like unnecessary. Sort of, they could have just cropped all that out.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we are in our recording sessions with the glorious Miss Michelle Visage, and first up is Babs, and first out of Babs is Miss Hanaconda.
Can I just interject here? Do you
Yes.
honestly think? Because I've noticed, especially with the Australian one, um, so whenever they do a recording session, it's always with Michelle, right? Which for me doesn't make sense. Um, like, I understand the budget for Down Under is probably a lot smaller than any of the other iterations, but as we saw in Untucked, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit here, but our guest, like, there was again no guest judge this week. But we
Mm.
had a special guest, which was Sophie Monk.
Surprise,
Wouldn't it make more?
surprise.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have someone like Sophie Monk in this recording session with them?
I mean, maybe not Sophie Monk, but yes,
Yeah, but
anyone.
that's like any of these. This is the time where you'd use a special guest, like chuck them in there, and then have them as the guest judge that week.
Yeah.
Like, have them there, utilize them. Like, if you're already paying them, utilize them for as much as you can. Like, I guarantee you, Sophie Monk's fee would not have been astronomical high for her to sit there on a
No.
couch and just do a 2 minute phone call.
I mean, what is
Um,
she like, $80 on Cameo? I don't know. And that's essentially
and
all it was.
well, essentially, yeah.
Good job. Okay, so we are recording with Michelle. No special guest here. Hannah goes up first, and I've just put like a little highlight of what I thought from each Queen's recording. I really loved when Hannah was singing her line, and Michelle was like, "What are you saying in there about applicate?" And then Michelle's like, "Okay, a little more words that you can enunciate."
I did appreciate that. I was like, yeah, that's good advice for once.
Mm. And it worked. Like, I think Michelle did a really good job coaching the queens to get the best out of them that she could.
Absolutely.
Um,
I I honestly, I hate that whenever they do these like girl group challenges or song challenges, like 90% of the queens choose to rap, um, and they rap poorly.
yeah.
Like if you're not a Lisa Left Eye Lopez, then just stop.
Miss Spanky Jackson is up next, and she started off a little pitchy, but by the end was pretty decent. She was probably the
Mm,
only queen that had more of a singing moment than a rapping moment too.
yeah, so she sang, which I appreciated, and she can sing.
Mm.
Like we found out that Spanky can hold a fucking tune, which is great. Because yeah, all other five of them rapped essentially.
Yeah.
Um, so Spanky was impressive.
Yeah. And then up next from Babs, our final girl group member was Queen Kong. And she was nailing her little rap that she did. She was totally in it. And she had Michelle laughing, which was kind of cool.
Although her rap was it was a PG rap.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone like I was chuckling at her whole like your booty smells, bleh. Um, but then like talking about your breath smelling as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh come on, you're a man in his 30s. Like, you can be a little bit more in depth than
Skay.
just yeah.
Yeah. But overall, their group did quite strongly in their recording session with Michelle. They leave, and then the Hung Divas come in, and Beverly goes first, obviously very confident. Um, and feedback was that she was completely lacking any attitude in her rap. Molly says that Beverly was white bread toast, um, which I think
Very
was okay.
very much so. Like you can
Um,
tell Beverly doesn't Beverly is not a Beverly isn't a rap star. She's not a rap. She's Beverly is no lemon.
but how
Like
funny was it too when she's like, "Oh, I'm a rap star," and then Michelle's like, "Calm
Michelle
down."
goes, girl, no, you're not.
Too big for your boots. Get back in that
Like,
box.
especially considering Michelle used to be a rapstress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like after she left her seduction days, she was featured in a whole bunch of songs, especially that one that she keeps bragging on about for the Bodyguard, where she's rapping.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so Michelle knows what she's talking about. But yeah,
Yeah.
Beverly thinking she's a rapper is like, okay, calm down, little white girl.
After Beverly, Yuri goes up to do it, and poor Yuri, she's so nervous. She's got no confidence,
None at
no
all.
attitude, but she still did it. Like, I think the edit that they used in the final take, like in the final cut that they pieced together, because they would have had to have pieced that together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think she did a decent job. Like, her rap wasn't the worst rap, I don't
No,
think.
no, I don't think like hers definitely wasn't the worst. I think, as we'll see when we get to that part of the show, it was more her performance that let her down. Her rap as a whole, and her vocal while rapping was not horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think they could have easily, if they wanted to, have edited her to
Been better.
stay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then Roseanne goes up and she does it in one take. Seasoned
I mean,
professional.
Orville Peck.
It's enough out of you. I'm going to push you overboard, bitch.
Look,
She did good.
Molly,
Like,
Molly tried.
speaking of eyesores,
Um, I thought overall it was a case of like both teams went into each rap or each song as like there was no clear standout. Like I was like at the moment this really could go either way.
yeah.
Because there was no one that you were just like, wow, phenomenal. Like this is yours to win.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the edits, like after you've watched this as much as we have and you start to pick up on these things, based on the edit, you could tell who was going to be in the top and in the bottom. Um, But if you just take it for face value and just the challenge itself, there was no one that really stood out.
After the recording sessions, we get to go see the girls doing their dance rehearsals. First up again is Babs, and they're killing it. They're having a lot of fun. Hannah farts on the way in.
Yep. I was like, that would be me.
Yeah, someone's giving you a run for the Gassiest Queen Award. The Babs are having a great time. The chemistry is on fire. The Hung Divas, not so much. Poor Yuri. Choreography, coordination, and timing are not their friend.
It's just, yeah, choreography not their greatest strong suit, which is disappointing because they've got a look down. Like they look like they would be a phenomenal performer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe it's just a work in progress.
Work in progress, yes, because she's still a baby. Like, she's only going to get better. Was she 25?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, still plenty of time to figure all these things out if that's the kind of queen that she wants to be. Oh my God. And so while the Hung Divas are doing it, you've got Yuri, who's like, oops, sorry, not good at this. You've got Beverly, who's like clearly getting frustrated and disappointed that her team are not the dancers that she wishes they were. And then you've got Molly Poppins, who just looks like she needs to sit down. Like, someone get that girl. Like, she would be me, a hot, sweaty mess. Like, somebody get me a seat and a cocktail. I'm gonna need a break.
Oh, but I love how she's also sitting there and she's like reading Beverly in the confessionals, just being like, I thought you said you're a dancer.
This is true. She is, if she is anything, she is funny and fierce. Poor Bev, like the end of this segment, the last thing we see is Beverly going, I cannot be in the bottom because I will be going home.
Which I honestly think, I mean, again, people have watched the episode, so it's fine. But as we see, she's not. But I definitely think that would 100% have been the case. If Beverly was in the bottom this week, she would have gone.
Yeah, I feel like Ru would have been like, tired of seeing you lip sync now. But yeah, it's a new day. We're back in the workroom. The Hung Divas come in going, we're the Hung Divas. And then the other guys come in and like, you're going to lose. And then this is where Beverly asks Queen about the way she's been behaving towards her.
I just think was just unnecessary.
It was clearly a producer asked question too. Like, in that cut, like when she says it, it's almost like she's obviously been prompted.
But on top of that, it was also clearly as a way of trying to get inside Queen's head, and it did. It got in her head. Like, Queen was second guessing everything, and not second guessing everything, but just sitting there, and she was getting in her emotions because she's just like, the hell, this little twink thing. I think it was very shady of both producers and of Beverly to ask that question right then and there. But also, again, I know we love the drama, but unnecessary drama and just not worth it.
So Queen responds to Beverly's question, and she says that she didn't like the way that Beverly was coming at her when she was telling him to get up and do the dance routine. Queen also says, I think it was in the confessional, that she's conscious of how Beverly is working, going from being an insecure and needing validation to then being over the top, confident, and coming across a little bit arrogant. And I love that during this edit, all you see is Spanky like this.
Yeah, because she's over it too. I would be too. If I was one of the other queens, I'm sitting there and listening to constant fighting and bullshit about nothing. Because at the end, it's really, they are like, all the time, it's just always drama about nothing. It's just, you sit there and go, stop.
Main stage, RuPaul is dressed as some sort of extra from the Lion King stage production. Big hair, red earthy colors, a little.
Oh, that's right. It was like an iridescent red flowy gown.
Yeah, do you know, on camera it looked really orange, and I wrote a note. I was like, don't like it because I work for a company and the branding is all very orange, so I get sick of seeing orange. But in all the pictures and the stills from the show, it looks like a really beautiful red, and I wish it looked red on camera.
I loved it. Like, the color and the shimmer of it and just the way it flowed, I was like, oh, I like this. I like this week. Yeah, she looked good. Mama Ru looked good.
I didn't like her bindi. It looked like it was really cheap. I'm sure it wasn't, but it didn't go well on camera.
What are you talking about? They just went and got it from Cosmetics Plus.
Exactly, that's what it looked like. And then go straight into our girl groups performing the new drag hit, Bosom Buddies.
Which is still a shit song. Let's
fucking catchy though. I woke up singing it.
Ew.
Oh,
Let's do a quick, like, what you thought of their outfit, what you thought of their performance. So, starting with, who did we start with in the Babs?
Babs was Spanky, Hannah, and Queen. I think collectively as a group, their looks were not cohesive at all.
No.
Spanky was wearing her fly thing from the Fly Girls. She was wearing the fly thing.
Spanky was giving me Angelica Houston from The Witches.
Yes, I see that.
That with that hair, and when she spun around, I was half expecting it to come off and her to have a hooked nose. And
I feel like the girls tried to be cohesive with their costuming because they were like, let's all be in leotards. Because they were all in leotards, but I mean,
Queen's was like bright, vibrant pink, and Hannah's
color looks amazing on her, by the way.
Yeah, that pink tone on her skin was phenomenal. Hannah looked ridiculously short next to both of them.
Hannah looked. My notes for Hannah's outfit was that she looks like she's come straight from Little Mix.
Oh, she's not as talented though. But yeah, because Hannah was in gold, I believe, from memory.
I was like pretty sure it was like a silvery, goldy, shimmery kind of vibe. She had that little headband and the pigtails.
Yeah, because Hannah was in that. Queen was in pink and Spanky was in black, so they didn't look cohesive.
No.
Their verses didn't make them sound cohesive.
No.
Yeah, I just thought it was an all-round. I thought it was a miss for them overall. Like it could have been better. Although that being said, performance-wise, I thought it was good. Like they seemed to they gelled well together.
Well, they were clearly having fun,
and that's the main thing.
Even if they did steal Beyonce's moves, but that's okay.
There's no such thing as an original idea anymore.
Well, ain't that the truth?
Hung divas.
Less cohesive than the last less cohesive group.
Yeah.
I feel like the girls' costuming was kind of good. I feel like Beverly was dying for this girl group moment, and she's like, "I'm Beverly Kills, and here's my necklace, and here's me being Beverly Kills." Like, she was dressed somewhat like a superhero. It was cute, but what I didn't like was Roseanne didn't look like she should be there. She was like,
no,
just who's this ring in that we've got?
See, it's funny because Beverly is part of like a drag girl group back in Brisbane called Little Dicks, which is herself,
ironically, she called herself the Hung Divas this time around.
Yep, right. But it's herself, Lululemons, and Elderflower. And they've always got cohesive outfits when they do their shows, etc. So, and this isn't just for them, but for Babs as well. Are you trying to tell me that between the six of them, that each group of three did not have matching silver outfits, matching black outfits, matching red outfits, matching pink outfits? You're trying to tell me that they had nothing cohesive in their wardrobe that they brought to go with each other? It frustrated me that both teams, neither one of them was a girl group. There were three individuals performing together.
Which, you know what, if they're going to be judged individually, then sure.
I personally, I don't agree with the way everything was done for this episode, but we're about to get into that.
Okay, so that was girls' outfits in terms of dance routines. Like, they were all entertaining. That was fine. They were good. Like, it was what it
Yeah,
was.
I mean, yeah, it was again, it was an okay challenge.
Yeah, after the main stage girl group performances, it is our runway, and the category is belts, buckles, and chains.
I loved the idea of this runway. I don't know if I loved any look in particular.
I did love one look. Aubrey
So,
Haves. She's not
oh,
there.
I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, Aubrey Haves' look. She was belted, buckled, chained up. Her wig was made of chains. It was like a shoulder, like a long
like a
bob.
share.
Yeah, but the whole wig was like, really loved it. Minnie Cooper's look that she posted a video of was a biker girl. Like, she literally had handlebars on the front of her outfit,
Oh, yep.
which was kind of cool. And like her hair was
Well,
super high and like a wheel.
been done, like the biker outfit's been done on the main stage before.
Yeah.
So who was our first queen down the runway? I believe
First
it
queen
was
was
Spanky.
it's Queen Kong in her black and
Oh,
pink
yep.
number, inspired by her baby niece and Katie from Mean Girls.
So I got the reference to Katie straight away. The thing that annoyed me was, where was the belts? Like, the dress was stylized to look like belts, but they weren't belts. The buckle was down the front, because when she turned around, you could see the zip and where all the strips of fabric had come together. But also, where was the chain?
She had chains on her eyes, like tears with little chains.
So she did a Gigi Good. Like, I've technically got the one other thing for this runway, but it's tiny. So back on season 12, when they had the buttons and bows runway, that Gigi Good had her phenomenal, like, 400,000 button outfit that looked stunning, and then there was one teeny tiny little bow on her knickers.
I mean,
so
still hit the brief, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Queens was nice.
I loved the hair. I thought the hair was fun.
Yes, the hair was phenomenal. I just think the dress could have been executed a little better.
Up next was Spanky. So Spanky serving us bondage Barbie, ill-fitting due to weight loss.
This horrible pink leather, pleather, spandex, gaping vagina looking. Oh, it was Spanky. It was horrible. Where were her belts and where was her buckles?
So she had 2 belt buckles that went across like her body, and she had a circular chain in the middle, like a circle thing, which had some chains hanging off of it, chains around her neck, and when she came out, she had the ball gag as well, which I guess is a buckle.
See, again, so I'm a queen that wears flat hair because I wear human hair generally 9 times out of 10. But I at least have some sort of, like, if it's going to be flat hair, it goes with the look. That pink hair that Spanky had on, that was too flat for the rest of the look. I mean, the look was ill-fitting. The hair was too flat. It was
like the
not
hair,
the
though,
greatest.
Not with the outfit, but I did like the hair.
Yeah. The hair, like, I looked at that color and went, oh, I'm going to dye one of my wigs that color. But I just think overall, it was not a good night for Spanky looks-wise.
No. And yeah, as she mentioned, on the runway, she lost quite a lot of weight. And so, but I don't feel like her flaps would have been that tight to begin with.
No, because that's the thing, is she might have lost a lot of weight, but it was still fit around the torso, which is where it should have been the loosest.
But did you notice her breastplate really took me out of the illusion of the drag because of the way that it fit? So, like, particularly when they were doing the Untucked and they were just sitting around talking, where her pink outfit went like this around her boobs, you literally could see her breastplate. It's like the one that you have, and you could literally see it moving and the fabric going underneath it.
Yeah.
And it, like, it just took me out of the illusion a little bit. So I didn't love that. Up next, after Spanky, was Hanaconda, inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier, a sexy look. And I loved her comment about her wig that she designed herself. And if you don't have a tension headache after wearing a wig, did you even wear a wig?
Because that's right. She had the chains through the braid.
Yes. And then her dress
which
was
I loved.
all buckles.
I did love the hair. Yeah, actually, from memory, because again, I've only watched it once this week because I haven't had time. From memory, I do believe I liked Hannah's look. Yep. I think Hannah was probably my best dress for the week.
After Miss Hannah, we had Beverly Kills, inspired by Britney and Justin, and the double denim look from the late 90s. I liked it.
I liked it. I would have liked different hair.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a consistent thing for Beverly's looks for me, is I just think the hair, like a change of the hair elevates the look. Like I understand she's a drag queen, and again, coming from more of a female illusionist than a drag queen, but I feel like the big drag hair for some of her looks doesn't always work. Like, look at Hannah. Hannah had a very sleek braid with a chain wrap through it. Like, she doesn't always have the big, huge drag hair. So I think Beverly could take a little note of that and just slightly change some of that big, huge drag hair for some more sleek styling, depending on what the look is, and it will really elevate her looks more.
Yuri Guy, snakeskin, dripping in chains, loved the look. I appreciate the look more now as well after watching Yuri post, which you haven't seen yet probably. Yuri post all of the videos of them making the look.
I thought this was stunning, with the fangs as well. So she had the side fangs in her, she had fangs in her face as well. Yeah, she looked like Yuri is 100% a look queen. Like, she's got some amazing looks and some amazing outfits. So I generally can't fault her on her looks. So I think it's disappointing because obviously it was her time to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not ruining that because it's behind you already. So anyone's watching this has seen quite clearly.
Yuri, bye.
I think yeah, obviously it was clearly Yuri's time to go. So unfortunately that's the case. Because I think this look definitely could have saved her from the bottom two if necessary.
Yes. After Yuri Guy, we had our last queen to rock the runway, which was Miss Molly Poppins, serving Rock Chick Bumblebee, and she proclaims, "Bring back the mullet."
Okay, no, because the mullet was fucking gross. But I did appreciate this look because I like the yellow,
yeah,
open trumpet skirt. So you had the giant circle skirt at the bottom with the slight split above it to the other bit of fabric, and then obviously into your like, I appreciate that. Like, I thought this was quite a good look for Molly. I appreciated it. Again, I was missing, from memory, it was very yellow and black, but where were the buckles?
So she had, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this because of my ring light. She's got like chains on her breasts.
I can see the belts, I can see the chains, but where's the buckles?
She's got one buckle that's holding her like dress portion to her body, and she's got buckles on her arms, like across here, and buckles on her wrists. She's a subtle buckle.
See, for me, if I was doing this runway, what I would do is I would have belts with giant buckles on them as like a tiered skirt with chains connecting each one of them. So essentially making a giant ball gown out of belts, buckles, and bows, belts, buckles, and chains. Taking something that's generally very hard materials and trying to make it very elegant and very glamorous is how I would approach this runway.
We get some judge critiques after our runways. while the girls are standing in front of them, they say that everybody's super proud of Queen this week. Hey, girl.
No,
Damn
damn
it.
it.
Everyone is super proud of Queen. They say that Queen was controlled and that she did a great job. Spanky, basically, they said she was ill-fitting, but that's on brand for Spanky at this point. Reese said that if she was any more polished, he wouldn't have believed it to be Spanky. Hannah, Michelle says these kids should be afraid of Miss Hanaconda. She's been consistently strong out of all of
I
the
think
girls since the beginning.
Hannah surprised me with all of her runways. Like all of her runways have been very, very strong. Which yeah, is a little bit I say surprising just because I've never known Hannah Condit. Well, I don't know her personally, but from what I know of her, I've never known her to be a look queen, if that makes sense. Like in all honesty, I've expected stronger runways out of Beverly because I know what type of queen she is. And I mean, Yuri is just smashed out of the park every week. So
every
Hannah
look.
being one of the top echelons for the runways for this season, I mean, I think she's proving to be a tough competitor to beat.
100%. She's doing really, really well. After Hannah was Beverly. All the judges are like Queen. They were really proud of Bev this week. Yuri, they said that Yuri was the one who struggled the most during the recording, and she needs to stop listening to those voices in her head, which is making her second guess herself, which is 100% true. But I feel you, Yuri. We've all got those voices.
Which was essentially her. It was what guaranteed for me that she was the one going this week.
Yes. And then lastly, Molly, great in the studio. Obviously, she got her recording in one take, but she was really struggling with the choreography and keeping up with the rest of the girls.
Yeah.
So the girls leave the stage. We get a short, untucked moment where the girls mention that there's been absolutely no really bad critiques this week. Yuri and Molly think that they're going to be in the bottom two. Beverly seems to think everybody's going to be safe.
I don't get where that delusion came from.
Nope.
Like there was none of them were that spectacular to warrant it being a full no one's going home this week.
Exactly. Yeah. There's somebody has somehow snuck a phone in, which rings, and we get a guest appearance this week by Sophie Monk, as you mentioned earlier.
I love that little plug of them showing the phone opening, and I'm like,
sponsored by Samsung.
I'm like, thanks Samsung. Kind of clearly have to get your devices in there somehow.
We love a good product placement. Like that time that the phone rang and Courtney Act was there, and it wasn't really Sophie Monk.
Yeah, when she said that, like, because there was a running joke a couple of years ago that Courtney Act and Sophie Monk have never been seen in the same room together.
I believe it.
But no, I think that joke needs to die. They don't even look remarkably the same anymore. Sophie's had a lot of work done.
Just white blonde ladies. And then we cut back to the main stage where a little bit of a critique. Again, basically just reaffirming everything that they've already said. Babs, so broke ass bitches. Queen, Spanky, and Hannah are named our tops and winners of the challenge, each getting a $2,000 gift card for Snag tights and a year supply of tights. Thank you, Spanky.
Yeah. And I do love how Spanky made the joke going, I need them. And Michelle goes, yes, you do. Oh, no, Ru
No, it was
said,
Ru. It was Ru. It was like,
yes, you do.
The Hung Divas obviously lost the challenge this week. The judges naming Beverly as safe, leaving Molly and Yuri as predicted to be in the bottom and facing off for their lip sync. Now I'm getting my hair ready because I'm going to lip sync for my life. Because the queen, my queen, Miss Tina Arena, song of choice, Chains, the S&M remix. I mean, it's a little on the nose, but okay.
I get using an Australian artist because obviously it's down under. I don't like that they use this remix. I would have preferred the ballad, like the original ballad version, because there's more emotion to it, there's more power to it.
Yes, there's more
One of the things,
performance to it.
and again, this comes because this is the type of style of performance that I do. Is I like doing your ballad style and your more emotive emotions. I do that song a lot as well.
Of course you
But I
do.
like this, yeah, Mariah Queen.
Yes.
I like a more emotive performance, but I'm not a fan of Queens using like these huge hardcore remix versions of ballad songs as a way of performing the song in a club or a venue. Like, pick an already upbeat song. Don't, because Chains is such an emotion driven song and such a very deep, like, I'm breaking free, sort of like getting out from this, like there's power and oomph behind it. That remix took all of that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no emotion, there was no heart to that song. So the performance is just dance, dance, let's do that. Like, pick an already upbeat song. Don't do a remix version of a emotion driven song.
But don't get me wrong, I love a good Tina Arena moment in my life. You know who's not loving a good Tina Arena moment in their life? Yuri
Tina
Guy.
Arena.
No, Yuri Guy. Tina Arena's. Oh, I was going to say she went to the bank, but didn't she get broke during COVID? Anyway, she was. There was a whole thing. Let's not go into that because I don't want Tina Arena to come at me because I love her so much. I love you, Tina. Yuri Guy, learn your
Why you say
words,
that? We're on the
hun.
Gold Coast.
What do you mean?
You just said you love Tina.
I do love Tina.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I noticed as well that Yuri knew very little of the words, which was disappointing because I'm like, again, just proves that Yuri's going home this week.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they cut to her, she was like,
It's like you say, it's the edit. Like it's almost like they could have cut to parts of the song that she knew the words to, because there were parts she knew the words to the song to, but every time
yes.
they cut to her, it was always her fumbling, which makes you go, bitch, going home.
I don't know if it was just me, but I did notice Yuri's face looked. She was like, "I'm the one going home."
Yeah, I
Like, she
feel
didn't
like
look
she knew.
hopeful. Like, her face, she's just like, "I fucked that lip sync. I'm the one going home."
And
To
as
that,
much
to
as
the,
it
like,
pains me to see Molly destroy another one of my favorite artists, you definitely had the edge on this one, Molly. Well done.
like Molly, yes, Molly hit every single syllable. There was, for me, there was no emotion behind it because again, it was an emotionally dead song.
Yeah.
That's why I would have loved the original, because the original, like, I love watching Queens perform the original when they perform it well. Um,
I mean,
I've
you do
watched
a
a Queen.
good Celine Dion. I know this to be a fact.
I don't perform it like Celine Dion though. But
Celine Dion
Chains is
wishes
one.
she performed it like you.
Chains is one that I do have in my wheelhouse, and it's such a, like, when you can perform it and can perform it well, it's so powerful, especially for the audience. Um, like, Molly did great for the song that they chose, for the remix version that they
Mhm.
chose, but I just feel like I would have loved to have seen the two of them go at it in that old school version and just watching them both break down and break through, because as well, you're fighting for your life. Like, let's see that raw emotion. Give us a raw emotional song.
So after the performance, again, it was seemed like a quick decision for Rue. Like she's making
Yeah,
snappy choices this year.
there was
Um,
there was no there was no pause, there was no hesitation. It was very much like a, this
yeah,
is,
Molly Poppins, Shantae You Stay, Yuri Guy, Sashay Away. Yuri thanks everyone, like everyone,
yeah,
as she's before she leaves, and she parts with some words of wisdom,
which I
which
appreciate and I love, and I live
100%.
by this
And like
myself.
Rue said, I could not have said it better myself. Live fast and eat ass.
Like, absolutely, everyone should do that right now.
Yuri, Miss Yuri Guy is now Miss Yuri Bai. She is on
I
her way out
loved
of
looking
here.
that Yuri by. I appreciate that when we
I was sitting here, I was like, what am
started
I going
this.
to put on my sign this week? I was like, got it.
Yuri, bye.
Yuri, bye. So Yuri is out of there. She leaves us with those beautiful words of wisdom. She says as she's in the workroom, she says that she's proud of herself for getting this far in the competition, and she's going to miss everyone, even Beverly, which makes you feel like, what's going on with Bev? Like, maybe it's not just the edit. Okay, so Yuri is gone. She's super happy with herself. Like, she's done really well to get this far. Her mirror message. Do you remember her mirror message?
I couldn't. Okay, so where I was watching this on the ship, I was sitting outdoors in the Oasis, which is like the adults only retreat. No, not great, because it's underneath the fucking kids area, so you can still hear and see all the fucking kids.
I thought, do gays take their kids on cruises too?
There's not just gays on board. This ship is filled with straight people as well.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a gay cruise. Didn't realize.
No. I'm part of the gay group on a cruise.
No wonder you said people are looking at you funny.
Yes,
like,
that's why I'm like,
what's that bitch from Hocus Pocus doing here?
So it's a case of, I was watching it outdoors, and the glare as well was really, really bad. So got to the end, and I'm sitting there struggling to read it. I'm like, Shaun will just tell me what it says.
Well, it basically was like, I didn't write down what it actually said, because I assumed you would be all over this too. But it was basically like, I think it said eat ass again, like live fast, eat ass. And it said something about.
So Yuri's a rooming queen, we know that.
Yeah, she loves it, bitch. Something about spreading cum over the world. I don't know. Cum. But
so Yuri likes to combine the two, cum and eating ass. Eating one out of the other.
She's a cream pie queen. Anyway, so at the very bottom, and I went back and had to pause this.
I love how
that's my drag queen, though.
I love how that broke you though, and you're like, oh.
That was good. At the very bottom of their screen on the mirror message, it was just out of focus. So when I kept going back, and it's like, it was only there for a split second. Yuri Guy at the bottom says, Spanky for the win.
I feel like, I definitely think Spanky is going to be a top player towards the top. I think for me, it's going to come down to Spanky and Hannah for the win.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think.
Well, listeners and viewers and whoever else has stumbled upon this shit, that was this week's episode of The Wind Up. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at thewindup_pod. You can follow Les Queen over on Instagram at Mya Crafone with an F, not a PH, because with a PH it is crap hone, and she is not crap. That's that.
I don't know why I was doing big fish, little bit fish, cardboard box, big fish, little fish, cardboard.
I would have preferred if you were like voguing, but that's okay. And you can follow me over at Shaun Phillip Official. Miss Mya, thank you so much. Thank you for being able to manage this as well while you're away, being a working girl on the cruise.
Fine. What is the time right now?
4:55.
Perfect. Oh, 4:55.
You've got to go.
Perfect. I've got 5 minutes to spare. Yes, I can go and pee. I can run back down to the cabin and pee before I have to get back and do my actual hosting duties for the week.
Okay, get out of here, because I got to go edit and you got to go entertain some queers, steers, and everything in between.
Literally. All right, enjoy your week.
Thank you, you too.